Alrighty, this instructional video is going to be on how to make a helmet cam. I've used a CCTV security camera on the top and used this material here, which is basically metal strap material for piping and joints. I got this CCTV security camera basically off geeks.com. It was on clearance. I got it for about $29, I believe. Now the only problem with this is that it is not 9 volt. Now there are some that are 9 volt, but with the IR lights on this, it boosts it up to 12 volt power capacity, so it needs 12 volts to run it. There are some that run off 9 volts, but the problem with those is usually they are not night vision capable, or they don't have a lot of IRs on them. So basically IR LEDs. So with this, I had to kind of come up with a method to power it with the AC adapter that it comes with, as you can see here. And that method is to use this, which is a battery pack. Now, with this one I got it for about $40, I believe. It doesn't have an inverter on it. There are some with inverters that have a regular plug on them that you can use for household items. But I had an inverter that I use in my car. I got this for around $30 a long time ago. And what I do is this. You plug it into there, and then I put some Velcro on the front of it and on the back of this, so I can Velcro it to it. That way it's all one unit, and then I put it into a backpack to carry it on my back. Then I can plug this into that to power the surveillance camera. So if you don't need this type of lamp with the IR LEDs and the basic infrared capability, you can use this, which is a basic camera. Now, it was advertised to have night vision capabilities, and they do put these fake LEDs on them. They're not real, they don't do anything, they're just for decoration. And there's no way of giving this IR capability. The IR filter that is put on the front of the sensor is glued around the box that the sensor sits in, so it was very difficult to even chip a piece off. So with this, you're not really going to be able to get any kind of infrared capability out of it. But if you need it for daytime use, this is actually a pretty good camera. The quality of it wasn't that bad. So this camera was about $15 to $17. Not very expensive. So if you want something for daytime use, you know, if you're just videotaping yourself for a bird's eye view of skateboarding or biking or jumping out of an airplane, this might be your best bet, instead of, you know, putting down a little extra money for this when you don't need it. And this, because it doesn't have the IRs on it, actually runs off a 9-volt battery, and it comes with this with a camera, and it does come with an AC adapter as well. Okay, so this is another option, is, you know, instead of going with this. Now, for making this helmet, basically what you're going to need to do is first measure out your head. So you take the metal, it's very flexible, and then you basically, like you did in school with construction paper when you were making hats, you would take and go around your head, measure it just a little bit over, and then cut it using a pair of either wire snips or metal shears. And because it's very thin metal, it's not very thick at all. Then what I used is these type of screws. They are, let's see, 1/2 inch screws and nuts that you can use. And I also bought washers as well. Now these are like $1 a piece, and you get plenty. You don't even need all of this, but basically I use these to assemble it. And basically for the one that connects the two pieces for the one that goes around your head, you don't need a washer for it. This is so you can easily adjust it if you need to. Then you take your strips of metal that are going to go over it. Now I recommend making this a little bit bigger than your head so you can wear a hat. That way there's a barrier between you and the metal, or you can use weather stripping inside of here to give a cushion to it. But I made this a little bit larger for my hat, which I wear all the time out in the field. So with this, it will slip over my hat and I can wear it that way, and it'll be comfortable. Also, you might want to wipe this down with a rag. There is lubricant that they use when they're basically punching the holes in the metal, and they don't really rinse it off. So there is a lubricant on there. You might want to take a cloth and just wipe it down to get any of that excess lubricant off that they use for the machine that punches the hole. Now for this, I did try just one, but it's unstable. You would need two in opposite arches over your head. One going this way, and you want to measure it so it's above either your hat or your hairline, or the top of your head, excuse me. And so what I did was I arched it over, put it on my head, made sure that it had good clearance. Then I bolted it down using the bolts, the washer and the nut, and then I made another arch, made sure this was level so that it was sitting perfectly level and it wasn't off one side or the other. Then I put this strip on and bolted it in place. So that's what you get there. Now then when you put this on, I tried taking the assembly off, it's screwed in. The only problem is there are tiny little washers. They're basically friction washers. They're made out of like a rubber material. They're very hard to get back on. So if you take this off, you're going to have a tough time trying to get these washers back in place. So when you try to secure it, it's a pain in the butt to get that thing placed just right so that it doesn't slide off. So I'd recommend not taking these off if you don't need to. With this, you can slide the bolt in, then take your washer and nut and slip it. You have a little bit of room that you can slip it on there, and then use an adjustable wrench or wrench to size to tighten it down. Now, once you have this assembled, you do have your connections here. The red one is for power, so that's what your AC adapter is going to go into. Now, let's see here, with one of my cameras, it has a 3 RCA connections. Now with this, you can use a splitter, a Y adapter, so that both channels of audio go into one, and then it splits off into stereo when it goes into your camera. That way you're not just getting sound on one side or the other, whatever you hook it into.